how to fix the lightweight division. Now, the problem in the UFC right now is the matchmaking from flyweight to heavyweight. They have terrible matchmaking. It's just it's silly. It's all over the place, especially the lightweight division right now. There's no clear-cut number one contender. Everyone's debating whether it's Armin, whether it's Justin, whether it's Paddy, what the next matchups are, who's next to Charles. I'm going to cover all of that in this video and go over how the UFC should matchmake the lightweight division because it's all over the place right now. So on the screen in front of you, I have the current lightweight division and the current rankings. Ignore Islam as the champion. Obviously, Ilia Topuria is the lightweight champion. From the number that you see next to their name, bump that up one. So in front of you, you've got Armin as number 2. He's number 1. You've got Oliveira as number 3. He's number 2. It's just because I couldn't get fucking Islam off the screen. It is what it is. But we're going to start from the champion and we're going to work our way down. Now, like I said just a second ago, everyone's debating whether it's Paddy, whether it's Armin, whether it's Justin. The UFC's a business. Obviously, they're going to do what's best for them and how, what's going to sell, what's going to do the most pay-per-views, what's the right fight to make right now at this particular time. Now, if you're talking about who's the most deserving, it's Armin. He's got the most ranked wins out of Justin and Paddy, who, those are the 3 names in the hat who is next for the title. He's beaten Joel Alvarez, who you can see down here. Obviously, as I just said, bumped him up one. So he's ranked 15 right now. That's the only loss Joel Alvarez has in the UFC is against Arman Tsarukyan. And Arman dominated him, finished him, TKO'd him in the second round. He's got a win over Joel Alvarez. He's got a first round knockout, I believe it was in the first minute, against Beneil Dariush, who's number 10, who just came off a win against Renato Moicano as an underdog. And he has a win over Charles Oliveira, who just fought for the belt. Obviously, he was booked and scheduled to fight for the world title against Islam Makhachev, but, had that back injury. People are saying it was weight issues. It is what it is. He did weigh in as a backup again for the Charles versus Ilya fight if, anyone pulled out, anyone missed weight. He made championship weight. I believe he is the most deserving. He is the most deserving. There's no question about it. Paddy, he's gonna get a title shot after beating Bobby Green and then fucking Michael Chandler. Like, he literally lost a round to Michael Chandler as well. Like, I get, yeah, you TKO'd him, but you lost the second round to Michael Chandler. It's not like you went out there and fucking took him down and subbed him immediately. And it's fucking Michael Chandler. He's what, 2-4, 2-5 in the UFC? Like, at minimum, Paddy needs at least a Dan Hooker or at least a Justin Gaethje. At minimum, you cannot be getting a title shot in 2025 off of fucking Michael Chandler. Like, I get Charles just did, but there was no real other contender. Armin pulled out, and he was ranked higher at the time as well. So there you go. But it's Armin. Like I said, he's beat Joel Alvarez, Beneil, Charles. If you're going off of who's most deserving, it's Armin. Now we'll go on to Justin because he's ranked higher than Paddy. Justin's a fucking retard. So we've been seeing Justin say all in the media, I'm going to retire if I don't get a title shot. It's me. It's this. I don't know who the fuck he thinks he is. He's lost every opportunity he's had to capture a world title. He got finished and fucking dominated by Oliveira. He got finished and dominated by Khabib. Then you want to have a 45er move up on you, Max Holloway, dominate you, and then knock you out that fucking embarrassingly. That is arguably the greatest knockout in UFC history. You come back and you win a decision, a 29-28 decision against Rafael Fiziev, number 11th ranked at that time, number 10 ranked right now, who took the fight on short notice. And you think that earns you a title shot? Paddy's more fucking deserving of a title shot. Fucking Chandler's ranked higher than fucking Fiziev. So I don't want to hear fucking Gaethje yap on about he deserves a title shot. No, you're in the same fucking boat as Paddy. How the lightweight division should be right now. Ilya should be fighting Armin in December at the T-Mobile Arena, main event, lightweight belt, and then in the meantime, Gaethje and fucking Paddy haven't fought in a while. Let's see Gaethje and Paddy on the main card as a co-main event of the pay-per-view, or on the main card as October pay-per-view. Let's say that. Let's say that on the undercard of on the main card underneath fucking Pereira and Ankalaev rematch. You know, Justin Gaethje does not earn a fucking title shot, and I swear to God, if this cunt gets another title shot, it's just silly. Ilya's going to go out there and fucking chin him in round one. He's got a biscuit chin. Again, he nearly gets wobbled in every single fight. So what I'm saying is, if you're going off of deserving, now we're not going off of, pay-per-view buys and, the big names and this and that. I'm saying you book Ilya versus Arman Sarukian, December, T-Mobile Arena, main event, 5 rounds for the world title. Arman 100% is the most deserving. He has the most recent and higher rank wins out of Gaethje and Paddy. Then I'm saying you do Paddy, which is number 8, versus Gaethje, which is number 3. Even 5 rounds co-main if there's not two belts on the round on the line. Let's say 5 rounds for that. I'm sick of these 3 round fights, and it's like the winner of this is going to fight Ilya and Arman for the belt. This shouldn't be fucking 15 minutes. Like in boxing, that's 6 3-minute rounds. Or it was my math retarded. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. 18 minutes. Like, it's less. Like, the winner is fighting for a world title. It shouldn't only be 15 minutes. We should have championship rounds, because if they win that fight, they're going to be fighting in the championship rounds. Obviously, if it gets to round 4 and 5, but you get what I'm saying. These fights shouldn't be 3 rounds. These big, title amplification fucking fights, number one contender fights. Even I think like at least top 5. If you got two fighters that are both in the top 5 and they're fighting each other, make it 5 rounds. Like, I'm sick of it. But enough yapping. I'm saying Ilya versus Arman, December, T-Mobile Arena. Justin Gaethje, Paddy Pimblett, co-main event of a pay-per-view, October, September. Maybe the card that's going to have Ankalaev and Pereira. Co-main event, winner fights the winner of Ilya and Arman. Next, we're going to go with Charles. Now, Charles obviously just got knocked out. He did take some serious damage. I don't think he's going to come back for at least 7 to 8 months, and I hope he doesn't as well. A knockout like that, you need to let your brain recover. I think that the best fight for Charles is Max Holloway. Coming off of a win or a loss to Poirier, they do have unfinished business. They did fight at 45, and then Oliveira had that weird neck thing. Can't remember exactly what it was, but he pretty much couldn't feel the whole left side of his body. It's a fun fight. It's a fresh matchup. I'm sick of seeing rematches, like the Oliveira Chandler 2 fight. It was just unnecessary. I think it's a very fun fight. I think if Max beats Poirier and holds the BMF belt, you can do that as a BMF belt. BMF belt fight, 5 rounds, co-main event of a pay-per-view. That could even fucking main event a pay-per-view if you're struggling to get champions on a certain month or on a certain card. Charles Oliveira around January, February, co-main of a pay-per-view. Who knows, even fucking main. That's a banger fight. Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira. Striker versus grappler in a sense, but that's going to be a fucking fight of the night. Oliveira's going to march forward. They're going to be trading in the pocket. Oliveira's going to look to take him down. It's interesting. They haven't fought each other, obviously, in a long time, and they pretty much haven't. Like, they fought for 2 minutes, and then Oliveira was injured. But that is a banging fight, whether Holloway loses to Poirier or not. Obviously, Poirier is retiring after his next fight, but that is just a banging matchup. Next, we're going to go down. So after that, obviously, we're not going to talk about Poirier because he's retiring, but you've got Dan Hooker, Gamrot, Beneil, Fiziev, Moicano in the next 5 that we have not spoken about yet. Now, Dan Hooker, he's had that hand surgery, was meant to fight Justin. I'm not sure what his recovery time period is. I think he should be good to go to fight in, 3 months, 2 months, not even. I say you do Rafael Fiziev versus Gamrot and Dan Hooker versus Beneil Dariush. I think that is the fight to make. Now, Rafael Fiziev and Mateusz Gamrot, fought before, fought on at the Apex main event. It was actually looking like a good scrap, striker versus grappler fight. Fiziev was looking really well, and then injured his knee. I believe it was his knee, his ACL, or something like that. Fight got canned off. Gamrot running around celebrating as if he just scored a fucking second round knockout, but won the fight due to an injury. That's the fight to run back. Now, I just said, oh, fucking, I don't rate rematches. This and that, I want fresh matchups. But in this case, you've got unfinished business. Fiziev got injured. Let's see that. Fiziev versus Gamrot. Gamrot fought not long ago, got a win against Ludovic Klein. Fiziev just fought recently, 2, 3 weeks ago, picked up a win against Ignacio Bahamondes, looked great. Didn't really take any damage. I think they're going to be looking to get back in there around a similar time frame. Let's see that. Maybe main event of a fight night, 5 rounds again. Maybe open up the main card of a pay-per-view in October, November. Um, yeah, I think that's a fun fight. That's a striker versus grappler fight. Um, yeah, unfinished business. Need to run it back. No clear-cut winner in the first fight. Fiziev got injured. Let's see that down the line. Now, Dan Hooker and Beneil Dariush. Dan Hooker obviously is going to need a little bit more time to recover. Beneil Dariush didn't really take no serious damage. Did have a couple bruises on his face. Did look a little bit, you know, badly bruised, but no, no severe cuts or anything. No broken bones. Um, got knocked down in round one by Moicano, but it was kind of just like a stun. Wasn't really out of it or badly hurt or anything like that. Just picked up a win against number 11 Moicano. I think that Dan Hooker needs to fight backwards. Obviously, with what I've said with Justin Gaethje fighting Paddy Pimblett, Dan's not going to rebook himself against Gaethje. Obviously, if they ended up doing Arman and Paddy and the winner of that fights for the belt, then I would say, okay, Dan Hooker and Gaethje is the way to go because Gaethje's just not going to sit out for another year and a half. But yeah, I think Dan Hooker, Beneil Dariush. You've got that UFC Fight Night card in Perth down the line. I think September-ish it is. You could even make that the main event. That's a great fight. It's a fight night. It's not going to be a pay-per-view, so we're not going to expect fucking Adesanya on the card. But Dan Hooker, Beneil Dariush, 5 rounds. I think that's a fun fight. That's a great fight. Beneil Dariush goes forward, throws bombs. Dan Hooker does the same. It's a fresh matchup, both in the top 10. I think that's a great matchup. Similar rankings, haven't fought each other. Bang, let's make that fight happen. I don't understand why that fight wouldn't happen. Who else is Dan Hooker going to fight? It's not Gaethje again. Let's see Gaethje fight either Arman or Paddy, you know? So we'll go down. Moicano coming off a loss. Didn't really take too much damage as well. Sitting at number 11 currently. Just lost to Beneil Dariush this past weekend. Also in the rankings, you've got Joel Alvarez, Benoit Saint Denis, Grant Dawson, Michael Chandler. Now, we'll start with Michael Chandler. Actually, Michael Chandler needs to fight an up and comer. Been seeing people say, "Oh, he should fight Farasiam on the Paris card." Farasiam's a fucking can. He doesn't deserve a ranked opponent. You just fucking decisioned Mike Davis. Like that's not a fucking big win. Let's see Farasiam fight someone else. I wouldn't even mind seeing Farasiam and Grant Dawson on the Paris card, but I was going to say Michael Chandler and Benoit Saint Denis. I think that's a very, very fun matchup. Two guys who go forward, throw bombs. Benoit's got great jiu-jitsu. Chandler's got good wrestling, even though it didn't look fucking good in his last two fights, but he is a good wrestler. He does have a good wrestling base, but that's a fun fucking fight. Like August, September pay-per-view, Chandler, even later, October, November, Benoit Saint Denis, Michael Chandler open up the main card of a pay-per-view. That is a fucking fun fight. Benoit and Chandler, you're getting two guys who are kill or be killed, going forward, open up the main card, get the crowd going. Someone's getting finished. So then obviously you've got Joel Alvarez left, you got Dawson left, you got Moicano. I think Moicano is fucking terrible. I think he needs to take a step back. Dawson, he's going to be looking to get back in there soon. is Dawson booked and Alvarez booked? I don't think so, but I think that's, you know, I'm not trying to go by rankings here, but Joel Alvarez and Grant Dawson, that's, makes sense rankings wise. Winner gets a, top 11, top 10 opponent next, maybe a Benil or Dan Hooker coming off of a loss, or a Fazeev or a Gamrot coming off of a loss. I think that's a good fight. Joel Alvarez versus Grant Dawson. Both can grapple. Joel Alvarez is going to have the advantage on the feet, but it's a good fight. It's not a boring fight. It's not a dead fight like fucking Dawson and Ziam. So that's my opinion on how to fix a lightweight division currently. Let me know in the comments if you agree on these matchups that I've just made. Let me know what you guys would do. Especially, let me know who you think's next for the lightweight belt. Let me know if you think it's Armin, Justin, Paddy. I'd love to hear everyone's opinions. And yeah, might end up making a fucking video for one of the other divisions on this as well, because the UFC's matchmaking's quite shit at the moment. So yeah, that'll be all for this one. Thank you for watching.